Okay, because we are here to educate Nigerians, we'll keep doing so. The ignorance of our people, it's extremely too much. Just the way poverty is extremely too much in Nigeria. And the lack of education, the lack of quality education is not even helping matters. Now, read this comment on Instagram. Now, this is coming from someone in a country where 26% of the entire population, it's owing loan apps. And according to a report by CBN and PiggyVest, 4 out of every 10 Nigerians are owing loan apps. Go and verify. This is coming from someone in a country where people are not borrowing money to buy latest model cars the way they do abroad. It's coming from someone in a country where people do not borrow money to start businesses or buy houses the way they do abroad. Rather, people borrow money just to feed and they are not able to pay back. Verify the number of Nigerians owing PalmPay, Fair Money, Carbon, Kuda, PiggyVest, different low apps in Nigeria. This is coming from someone in a country where they are still using Okada, bike, motorcycle as a means of transportation. And do you know what? More than 70% of those driving those Okadas could not afford them by themselves. They had to take the Okada based on high purchase. That's, they had to borrow the Okada. They had to take loan, you understand? So that they will end up paying for the Okada 2 or 3 times. You understand? 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old men driving Okada could not even afford to buy motorcycle. Ordinary motorcycle by themselves. This is coming from someone in a country where they are still using tricycle, keke napepe, as a means of transportation. And 70% of those driving those keke napepe did not buy them themselves because they cannot afford it. 20, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old men could not afford keke, so they had to take from someone based on higher purchase. So they will end up paying for the keke 2 or 3 times. You understand? This is coming from someone in a country where they are still using 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005 model cars to do taxi, to do Uber. If you ever see any car on the road doing taxi in Nigeria that is from 2010 model or and above, then it is AI. And you know the sad part? Most of the Uber drivers, the taxi drivers in Nigeria could not afford to buy the cars themselves. Most of them are doing higher purchase, or they are returning money to the owner of the car weekly in a country where people 50, 30, 40, 60-year-olds cannot afford to buy 2001, 2005 cars themselves. They need somebody to buy for them so that they can do taxi, so that they can do Uber. This is coming from someone in a country where they are still using 1960, 1970, 1980 models of Volkswagen buses from Germany that have been disposed many years ago. They are still using them as means of transportation. All the buses in Nigeria are 1970, 1980, 1990 model Volkswagen buses. And many of those bus drivers, many of those old men driving buses in Lagos or in all parts of Nigeria could not afford to buy those old buses themselves. They had to take those buses from people based on higher purchase. When I was in Lagos, I had an 18-seater T4 bus. You understand? And I bought everything cost me like 5 million. And I didn't even make up to 2 million naira from the bus. And the old man that I gave the bus didn't have money to buy his own bus. And so were many of his mates. They were looking for people to buy buses for them so that they can hustle and feed their family. People in their 40s, 50s, 60s cannot afford to buy buses that have been disposed in Germany. And Nigerians in Germany packed them and sent them to Nigeria. Our old people cannot afford to buy them. Our 50, 60, 70-year-old men who have been hustling all their life cannot afford to buy them. They have to wait for somebody to buy those buses so that they can use it and hustle. And it's not like they are going to be returning money to you. They will still start telling you stories. This is coming from someone in a country where they are selling houses 50 million naira, 60 million naira, 70 million naira in Lekki Phase 2. And they are begging people to come and bring 5% down payment to own those houses. And yet people are not coming because people do not even have the 5 million naira. And the full house, the full cost of the house is not even enough to pay them 10% to buy a house in a country like Canada, in a village like in this Canada. And this is coming from somebody in such a country. They are begging people to bring 5% of ordinary 50 million naira. And a nurse in Nigeria cannot afford that 5 million naira. Someone that has been doing nursing in Nigeria for the past 20 years cannot afford that 5 million naira to pay as down payment to buy that house in Lagos.